Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Steve, and welcome to my world and my first ever live stream. So, hopefully, fingers crossed, this goes well. We shall see if everything winds up. Mute myself on my other line. So, we're going to see if everything winds up right. We are filling in for Mickey's Magic, which is Meg. I will put her description down below. So, please check her out. She will be gone for the next 2 weeks in Tanzania on I think it's a safari. So she will be back in 2 weeks, and make sure you catch her if you could, please. Also, we will be filling in on my channel again next week with a very special guest. We'll get to that at the end of the show. So I got people in the chat. So, hey guys, what's up, Miguel, Rob, Stacy, Haley, Janine? I appreciate you guys all being here. I was just actually hoping at least one person showed up, so that's great. Somebody let me know if we are going through. Can you hear everything? Can you see everything okay? Just want to check it out. I'm trying to make, there we go. Yes, Haley, I am definitely live streaming right now for the first time ever. So if we're going to learn. That's the best that we could do. All right. Thank you, Stacy. Thank you, Haley. Thanks, guys. What's up, Chris? Appreciate you guys being here. We will be getting to it here in just a minute. I want to give time for a couple people to get in here that I know are coming, and we are going to be discussing Disney through Imagineering and what I wanted to do when people ask me what I want to be when I grew up. So we will get into it here in just a second. How is everybody doing tonight? Everybody doing good? Again, this is my first live stream. I know the chat is a little delayed, so if I miss you guys, sorry. My moderators can help me out. We will see how it works. Hey, Donna. Thank you so much for joining. Okay, so guys, what we're going to do, and again, I'm trying technology at its finest here. I've got a lot of different things I want to talk about with Disney Imagineering. I got a lot of pictures I want to show on the screen as well. I'm not 100% sure if it's going to work. I did a lot of research to try to make sure it does. So we'll try it and see how it goes. So again, I appreciate you all coming in. Thanks, Miguel. I appreciate it. I hope you guys feel better. I know Dee wasn't feeling well yesterday either. So, okay, so to get started, for those of you that don't know, and most of you are probably going to know some of the things that we're going to show today and some of the things that we're going to discuss today. I do a lot better when I'm on somebody else's live stream and I have somebody there to talk to. So this is going to be a lot different for me. So just bear with me. Again, if we miss things, please help us get through it. So, hey, Juan, how you doing, buddy? I really appreciate you being here. Thank you very much. Okay, so what we're going to talk about today is Disney Imagineering and the way that the amount of effort and amount of knowledge that they put into attractions and that they put into each ride. And the one thing I want to talk about most today is the subtleness of what they do. Most of the times they do it for themselves. They don't necessarily do it for the everyday park goer. So what they do is they hide things in Disney, and that's what we're going to talk about a lot today. A lot of the subtle things that a lot of people don't know about. Hey, Josh. Josh, I'm new too. I appreciate you being here. This is my first live stream. We're filling in for Mickey's Magic. If all goes well, we will. I've been getting pressured for the last couple months to start live streaming. Once I get my sea legs under me, let's call it, we'll get a lot better at it. But if everything goes well and I can hold this all together, I might start live streaming on a regular basis on Mondays to fill in the void that there's some people there that used to be on Mondays that are no longer there. So we'll see how it goes. So, hey, Walt, Melissa, if either one of you guys, I appreciate you guys being here. Thanks, Walt. Appreciate that. For those of you that don't know, next week we will be talking about villains, Disney villains, and Walt from Mouse Talk will be my special guest. So please don't forget to catch us here next week at 8 o'clock. I will remind you guys again next week. And thanks, Haley. I appreciate that. So, okay, so let's get into this. So again, talking about Imagineering, when my guidance counselor in high school asked me what I wanted to do, I told her I wanted to be a Disney Imagineer when I grew up. And that's because I actually started studying. I almost wanted to go to the Disney college program. I decided not to, but I wanted to get in there and learn how they do things. And you'll see some of the things that we're going to look at today and why it's so special, and the way they hide things into the park rides and into the attractions and into just something you're just walking by. So, when I went to college, I actually studied Disney customer service because nobody in the world does customer service like Disney does. Hey, Mike, what's going on, buddy? Greatly appreciate you. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you, Don. I appreciate it, guys. Thanks, Janine. Again, the hardest thing is going to be for me is try to keep up with this chat. So if I miss something, don't take an offense to it. Just help me get through it. Again, I really, really appreciate you all being here. So anyways, customer service at Disney is done like no other. They go through a college program. They go through training. They have Disney University. Hey, Dee, how are you? Thanks for joining. So I wanted to be a Disney Imagineer when I wanted to grow up. So that didn't work out, obviously, but I still studied it. And a lot of the things that we're going to look at today are things that I either studied back when I was in college, and I tried to add some new things. We may skip some of them depending on time. I'm not sure how long this is going to take, but we'll go through them. And I want to save a little bit of time at the end for anybody that wants to talk to me or ask me any questions, just because this is my first live stream. So we'll leave some time available for that. Hey, Rob, appreciate you, buddy. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start at Magic Kingdom. And again, most of you guys may know these. You may not. I learned some of them, like I said, as I was studying. So if you do play along with us, I'm going to ask questions. If anybody knows what's going on, feel free to type in the chat. Hey, Michelle, thank you for being here. Appreciate it. So the first thing we're going to talk about is when you walk into Magic Kingdom is Goofy sitting on a bench. And if anybody has seen this picture, and I don't know if it's working right because it's flashing on my screen. Let's try this again. Nope, it's flashing on your screen too. All right, let's try it one more time. There we go. Hey, Eileen, I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. My day was extremely nerve-wracking because I was preparing for this. So, hey, my Disney park memories. Thank you for joining. Again, so this is the Goofy statue sitting outside of the town hall. And thank you. If you sit here long enough to Goofy, he will actually talk to you and converse with you. I don't know how it works, to be honest with you. I don't know if it's somebody behind a microphone or if it's just so often, but he will actually have a conversation with you if you sit there long enough. Then our next one is the Streetlamps at down Main Street. And I'll go back and forth, guys, between the pictures and coming back into the chat with you guys. So these the way they themed the street lamps down Main Street, if you start at the Emporium, they begin with gas lamps and they progress down to electric lamps as you go. And if you look at the background, the one that's faded on the back left, you can actually see both of them and where they actually transition from one to the other. So they wanted to make it like you were walking through time and a progression. So they made the front ones started with gas lamps, and down the back they needed to they switched them to electric lamps. So if anybody has any questions, please just stop me and we will go from there. All right. One thing that a lot of people know are the windows, the second story windows at Disney World and down Main Street. So they are filled with the names of Disney Imagineers, important people at Disney, especially like Roy Disney and Walt Disney. And then they also have some different contractors' names on there of the fake names they used to buy the property down in Florida. When they were buying the property, they didn't want anybody knowing what was going on because he was well known in California. So they bought it under different things. You can see one there that says Elias Disney Contractors. So they bought a lot of things, and those fake contractor names and the different people are on there as well. Okay, up next, the picture is not real clear, but I think that's the Chapeau, which is the hat store. And in the back of it, behind the cash register, the telephone there on the right is actually hanging on the wall. You can actually go pick that phone up and listen to it. And it's a party line from the 1890s. And a party line, for those of you that don't know, a party line is a line where it was shared by several people back in the days when telephones first came out. And if somebody was on the line, you picked up the line, you could hear everybody just talk. So you had to wait for somebody else to get done before you could use the line. Yes, yes, Walt, your name is all over Disney World. So you could actually listen to that, to other people's conversations. And if you pick this phone up, you will actually hear a woman and her daughter talking about the price of groceries. And you can listen, if you listen long enough, you can hear the nosy neighbor listening in as well. So definitely go pick up the phone. That's why it's there, and that's what they want you to do. The next thing is this picture here for the castle for two different reasons. The first reason is if you look at to the right, that little tri-circle setting there, and I don't know if my mouse will show up on it or not, but it's this right here. To the right, they have those on the fence going down the sides as well, and they were designed so that if they had the sun hit it at the right time of day, it would cast a Mickey Mouse silhouette on the sidewalk. So that still happens, but you have to catch it at the right time of day. Hey, Melissa, how are you? Thank you so much for joining. I really, really appreciate it. And if I've missed anybody else, I don't think I have, but if I have, I apologize. We'll get back to you here. The other thing that's significant about this clock here, if you look at the clock, the numeral 4, we will get to in a minute, but it's written with 4 eyes, and we will get to that in just a second. Just remember that it has 4 eyes on it. Next up is the walking into the castle. If you walk into the castle, the entrance and the back entrance has this right here on it. And I'm sure some people can guess, but if anybody knows what this is, feel free to say it in the chat. But this is obviously a very important piece, and it is the coat of arms and the crest seal for the Disney family. So this will be hanging above, and you can see it on the left there. This will be hanging above the entrance to the front and to the back of Disney World, or the castle, I mean. Okay, up next, and I don't know if they still do this. Someone in the chat, please let me know if they do or don't. At rope drop, if you head straight to the back of the castle, again, I haven't done this in years, so I don't know if it's still there. And you go to Tinkerbell's Fairy Treasures. You go to the back of the store by the cash register, and you'll see this box there to the right. And, oh, sorry, Melissa. And if you look at that box, you can see the little picture of Tinkerbell in there. Well, there's a ceremony every morning to be able to wake up Tinkerbell. I have actually never gotten the chance to do this. Somebody always beats me to it the times that we've actually tried. But from what I understand, it's still there and they can still do it. If somebody else knows, please let me know if it's no longer there. But, and again, some of these things are when I studied in college many, many, many moons ago. So please bear with us if they're not there anymore. Just let me know in the comments or in the chat. Okay. Next up is one that most everybody knows. Walt, that was at Tinkerbell's Fairy Treasures. It's at a shop behind the castle. So it is, if you go through the castle right to the back of it, I believe it's right there, and it's called it's Tinkerbell's Fairy Treasures, and you have to be the first one there. and go all the way to the back. But and like Dee just said, she heard it was finished quite a while ago. That is one of the things that I learned in college. So that would be, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago. That may not be there anymore. If it's not, it may not be there anymore. I don't know. But this is one that everybody here pretty much knows. And this is where Mr. Toad's Wild Ride became Winnie the Pooh. And I wanted to go ahead and put this one in there. I wanted some of the ones that people knew about so that the average Disney fan that may not go as often may not know this. But in the Winnie the Pooh, Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, is the picture there on the bottom that Mr. Toad is handing over the deed to his house to Owl to symbolize the passing of Mr. Toad's Wild Ride into the Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. Yes, Melissa, we will definitely check to see if it's there. So for those of you that don't know, there are a lot of us going in August. Anybody that can be there, we would love to see you. So, okay, moving on here. This is at Peter Pan's Flight. The blocks by Wendy's bed with Nana. If you look closely as you're flying over to them, again, Disney Imagineering has put blocks in there to spell out Disney and Peter Pan. So, Dan, what's up, buddy? We haven't we haven't really talked about food yet, but food it definitely is. Will come up at some point in time. Okay, up next. This is one a lot of people know about as well. This is the Cinderella fountain behind the castle. And if you look at behind her on the mural behind her, the crown actually sits way above her head. And there's two different factors that people say. Number one is if you bend down to get a drink from the drinking fountain in front of her, it is like you're bowing down to Cinderella, and she becomes a princess. As you lower your head, the crown behind her appears to be coming down to her head. The other one is actually by a guy named Mark Mathis from the Disney Institute. He said the original design was actually to be from the perspective of the child, which is why the crown is above her, because from a child's height, it automatically looks like that. He said they did it with a quote of, "Sometimes it takes the innocence of childhood to see the truth in situations." So I love that quote. It's one of my favorite quotes. Hey, Cargo. Thank you so much for being here, Cargo. I really, really, really appreciate it. So again, one of my favorite quotes, sometimes it takes the innocence of childhood to see the truth in situations. And in reference to a child can see that she is already crowned when the rest of us, supposedly in the movie, could not. Okay. This is from the Jungle Cruise, and this is when you go in the boat, you have a Lockheed plane. So the back half of the Lockheed plane is on the Jungle Cruise. The front half used to be in a ride that some people are upset about it's gone. Some people are not so upset about that it's gone. But I appreciate that, Cargo. Thank you so much. So the one on the left is from, thanks, Dan. The one on the left is from the Jungle Cruise. The one on the right is from the Casablanca scene of the great movie ride that no longer exists. So I don't know what they've done or where they're going to put this plane, but I do know it's not there. And yes, Melissa, breathe. The great movie ride is no more. And I know you can't see it right now, but I have a big smile on my face. Look, the great movie ride was fantastic. I'm gonna let you know it was fantastic. The problem I had with the great movie ride was once I saw it 2, 3, 4, 5 times, it just got it needed an update, a complete overhaul with new movies and new scenes, or it needed something different, and that's what they went with. So yes, it's a classic. Yes, it's gone, but I think it's going to be for the better in the long run. Okay, up next. This is from Pirates of the Caribbean with the skeletons playing chess. And originally, this was designed for the chess board to be set up in a way of only 3 possible moves in chess where there is a stalemate and nobody can win. I personally love chess, so this is one of the first things that I ever learned when I started studying this and just fell in love with it. But over time, it has been rumored that some Disney cast members have moved the pieces around. So I don't know if it actually is in the same scenario now, but don't worry about it, Cargo. We got another Wizard of Oz scene coming later. But I don't know if this is still in the same place, but sometimes the cast members do move the pieces around. This some of these are fillers because I couldn't get the actual pictures from my arsenal of pictures that I have. But over at the Skipper Canteen, there is a room dedicated to SEA, which is the Society of Adventurers and Explorers, which came from. Does anybody happen to know where the Society of Adventurers and Explorers came from? It actually came from the Pleasure Island down at what used to be called Downtown Disney. And poor Cargo, you're 4'11", Cargo. I'm 6'3". I would have to bow down to you just to see you. But Cargo is the Queen of Canada, so it's worth bowing. Yeah, Dee, that chess thing is one of my favorite Imagineering tactics that they put in any ride. And yes, Walt, it came from the sea. So it came from the Society of Adventurers and Explorers, which was a Pleasure Island attraction, and that closed in 2008. So when they built the Skipper Canteen, they added a room dedicated to that for those people that love Pleasure Island. And this is a telephone booth, just like the other one that is in Tomorrowland. You can pick up the telephone, talk to somebody, and or listen to a conversation there as well. Okay, you got two more here in Magic Kingdom. Magic Kingdom. I'm sorry. So a lot of people know this one. This is the Liberty Square, and anybody that knows this, please go ahead and put it in the gently put it in the chat what the brown road there means. Janine, I really appreciate that. I'm still nervous. You guys can't see me on screen right now, but I'm really nervous, and I'm just hoping this goes well. So I really appreciate you all being here. Trying to do Meg justice by filling in for here. That is right, Walt and Chris. The Brown River, the Poop Road, the waste. In colonial times, they threw the waste in the streets, and to signify they try to make it as realistic as possible. And they put a brown road down the middle of Liberty Square for all the wastes. So, yes, that is what it is. Okay, and the last one, some people know this, some people don't. The main flagpole that sits as soon as you walk into Magic Kingdom has a retreat ceremony thanks, Chris, I appreciate it, has a retreat ceremony every day where they bring the flag down. All the other flags on the rest of the buildings there that you can see are not real flags. They actually call them pendants because they are not an actual American flag. They are all either missing a stripe or a star, or the configuration of the stars is a little different. And the reason for that is because to follow flag etiquette and the half-mast ceremonies, they would actually have to climb up and move every one of their flags down. So to get away with having to do that, which some people call it un-American, yes, Dee, I believe the main flagpole there is the only one that has the real American flag. The rest of them are not. That's funny, Stacy. So the rest of these flags are not real. That way they don't have to get up on top of them and run them down. Yes, I like the fun with flags, Dan. That is one of my favorite shows. And I hope I'm not like him, but I probably am most like Sheldon above any of them. So, okay. So I'm going to stop sharing real quick. Hey, Browntown Fishing, how are you? I greatly appreciate you being here on our first live stream. D, I greatly appreciate it, guys. I cannot tell you enough. I was hoping for 2 people. I'll be honest. Just hoping 2 people showed up to my first stream. We got 13 in here now, right? And we got 16 likes. Again, I appreciate you guys so much. You guys are helping a lot of my friends here. You guys are helping to ease my nerves a little bit. So again, I appreciate it. So, all right. So guys, I appreciate that, Cargo. Thank you so much. That was Magic Kingdom. Now there's things built into every single ride, every single attraction. but the thought process that goes into those is, oh, thanks, Janine. That is some of the stuff that I collect. The thought process that goes into these is pretty incredible when you have to research so many different things and then turn around and implement them into a way that makes sense, that a lot of people will never even know. It just looks like a decoration to them. And everybody, as Walt will know on his streams when he does his, we all have different opinions, and that's okay. It doesn't mean you're wrong or right. Just so happens that Big Bang Theory starts with a B, so I'm going to throw that one into the mix as well, because Walt doesn't, he likes the other B's, but he just never picks them in his brackets when we like it. So, hey, Lucky Minute, thank you so much for being here, guys. I really appreciate it. Yes, Melissa, Boma, Baymax, and Bane. It baffled me how they didn't make it. Some other people too. So, but that's for Tuesdays and Thursdays stream. We'll leave that for there. Now we can add Big Bang Theory to it. So, all right, guys, we are going to go off script for a second. Yes, Stacy. Of all the Disney stuff behind me and all the other stuff, this right here is my Lord of the Rings Trivial Pursuit. Hasn't moved since we did our live stream on Walt's channel back I don't remember when it was, December, I think it was. So Dobby and Harry Potter died. Some people are happy, some people are sad, but we are all friends. I think it's sad that Dobby died. But all right, guys, so let's move on again. Yes, and yes, Walt, sorry, I had to bring it up again. Let's move on to Epcot, and I want to get through these so that we can have time to chat and ask questions if anybody has any at the end. So, okay, next up, we're going to go to Epcot, and we're going to start with, and some of these are just kind of like fun facts. They're not really hidden things, just some nice stuff. So we'll start with the Fountain of Nations, and it is formerly called the Fountain of World Friendship when it first opened. So I am really glad they changed the name. But the fountain, and I know Stacy knows this. I think I've heard her say it before. But in keeping with the spirit of global community, which is what the entire World Showcase is all about, they brought in a gallon of water from each of the countries, from rivers and bodies from that actual country on opening day, and added it to the fountain as a gesture of peace and togetherness. But I'm sure that water over time has evaporated and rainwater's filled in and all that good stuff. But anyways, I just want to let you know that it did, at the opening day, there was a gallon from each of the countries' actual bodies of water poured into the fountain. Okay, oops, wrong screen. Okay, in Test Track, and this is not a very good picture, so the workbenches in Test Track, and this is the best one I had. Cargo, I just got your message about the Colts. I'm sorry, the Colts are my guys. I don't know. I just like them too much. So sorry. My mom bought me that for Christmas. It's a Mickey Mouse blanket with Colts on it. So, but in this picture here, you can see a hidden Mickey there made out of washers, and then they have several workbenches where they throw in Disney toys, Disney characters from all the movies. And you can kind of see some of them in the background. This is the only picture I actually took of one of them. In the very background, you can see some of the models from Cars. I think that's I can't even tell if that's Doc or not. I think actually Doc is purple. But anyways, there are these workbenches around Test Track that pay homage to different Disney movies, and they throw in different characters' toys from all the different movies. All right, this is from some people's favorite ride. Some people just like the ride. We had this discussion last night. This is from the Living with the Land, and it is an incredible ride if you've not been on it. It's very educational, but the number on the mailbox says 82. And oh, are you serious, Melissa? Your uncle is the strength and conditioning coach for the Colts? That is awesome. He picked the right team. So that's awesome. So this 82 on here, does anybody know what the 82 stands for? And I'm not 100% sure why the name Bonnie or B Jones. I don't know why I named it Bonnie, but B Jones is on there. That's funny, Dan. Okay, so the number 82, the house number 82 on here signifies exactly the opening year for Epcot, Chris. It was 1982, so the Imagineers built in an 82 into the mailbox. Not really sure where I got this picture from, but Soarin', same kind of theory here. The pre-flight, in your pre-flight, your flight number is 5505, which also signifies the date of when Soarin' came in, and that was May 5th of 2005. And then this billboard here is in the Seas with Nemo. And if you look in the bottom left-hand corner, I don't have a great picture of it, I apologize. But if you look in the bottom left-hand corner, oh, Melissa, I just saw, yes, they Super Bowl loss after Super Bowl loss after Super Bowl loss. I remember that era with the Bills, so I feel his pain. In the bottom left-hand corner where it says daily diving departures provided by, you read, which you can't read because I got it cut off, but the provided by actually says nautical exploration and marine observation, which if you look at the beginning letters spells out Nemo. So just another one of the little things they hid into the ride. Something I actually just found out about, yes, Phoenicians did not invent the alphabet. I am with Dan on that. But they're pretty good. They interpreted the alphabet. So got to keep Dan happy. He is correct. They did not invent the alphabet. That's going to become a staple in every single live stream I'm ever attending again. Something I actually learned while researching during this month is there are 28 little trolls. Yeah, he's creepy. There are 28 little trolls hidden throughout Norway. Some of them are in pairs and some of them are single. I did not know this. Obviously I knew the big one was there. Oh, thanks so much, D. Miguel. That's got to be D. Thanks so much, D. I appreciate it. There are 28 little trolls hidden around Norway, and I've never seen one of them unless they're counting the big giant one that's there. So one of the things I'm going to try to do in August is look for gnomes like they have the Pascals over at Tangled's in Magic Kingdom. Yes, Chris, thank you for coming in, buddy. Chris with Phantom Gazer, Chris. Chris, Walt's on it again. He does not like the Big Bang Theory. So we added a double B to the list of the things with B that he doesn't like. So okay. Next up, this bowl, and I am going to butcher this badly, and I hope nobody is offended. The Chinese shop is called, I think, Yongfang Shangdian, and it has this copper bowl somewhere in the back. And if you dip there's a few inches of water in it, and it's meant for you to actually use. If you dip your fingers in the water and rub, you got to put a little bit of pressure on it, but if you rub the edges of this, it'll make the water dance. So the vibrations will come in, shake the water, and make it splash up, and they call it the water dance. So again, this is something I've never done. I read about it and just have never been there. But it is there, and I'm going to try it in August. So if anybody's ever done that, let me know how it works. And then there's Germany, outside the Biergarten and Summerfest restaurants. You'll see these crests painted on the walls. Those actually are dedicated to the 16 regions of Germany. So they painted the crest from every region across those two restaurants. And then here's the clock tower on the American Adventure. It's harder to see. That's why I asked you to remember the one from before. If you look at there, they have 4 eyes instead of an IV for the number 4. And that was how it was done in the colonial times. So that is the reason why Disney kept with the 4 eyes as Roman numerals as opposed to IV. Okay, this is the bridge that goes from France to the United Kingdom. and Dan, you might be able to correct me if I'm wrong, maybe. But from what I studied and what I remember, this bridge is based on a real life pedestrian bridge called, I'm going to butcher this, I'm sure too, but Pont des Arts. And it connects France's Louvre to the Institut de France. But I'm also told that it crosses the English Channel. So I think that's where it's from. That one's been about 12 years. So if that's not accurate, somebody please let me know. Save the clock tower, Walt says. Slap the, oh, yeah. Yes, that is true. The Green Arrow, Dan, might be my favorite DC character. There is no bridge that crosses the channel. Okay, that part was, it didn't make any sense to me why there would be something that crosses from France to France across the English Channel. So, but going back, that Arrow is my favorite DC superhero, and because of the TV show, it's a really good show on the WB. Okay. I don't have very good pictures of this. I apologize, but in the very back of Toy Soldier in the United Kingdom, in Dan's home country. Cargo, that might not be a good thing. I don't want to offend people if I try to pronounce words in another language. If it's German, I'm good. I can pronounce German. I cannot do other languages, but it might be fun. So, yes, God save our gracious queen. But in the back of the Toy Soldier, I don't have pictures of these. There are, next to the room that's supposedly locked, you can actually ask a cast member to let you in, and sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. But there is a library that's dedicated, that was used by Mary Poppins and Winnie the Pooh. And on an umbrella rack back there, there is a bundle of letters tied with a string. And I'm going to look for these in August as well, try to get pictures of these. There's a bundle of letters with a string that's addressed to Mr. Banks, and it has his address on it. And he's obviously the father from Mary Poppins. And to the right of that stand are actual photographs of a young boy. And that boy is actually Christopher Robin Milne, who is the son of A.A. Milne, who wrote Winnie the Pooh. So I'm going to look for those photographs because I could not find pictures of them. I evidently did not snap any of those in the many Disney trips I've been. But there are photos of the real Christopher Robin there. So I'm going to try to find those. And then this is not a very good picture, but underneath the land where the guy in the red shirt is walking there is a circle there. I've taken pictures of it before, and I can't find it, but supposedly that circle, when they first put it in, was the center of the property for Walt Disney World. It is no longer the center of the property, so now it's just a circle in the middle of the road. But that circle there, they put it in, used to be the center of the property. And sorry guys, I'm missing some of the chat. Lucky Minute, I saw that you put in there, look at the books, they all have a hidden meaning. So that'll definitely be something that I need to look at. I have not seen that. Hello, WD Gaming and Disney History. I appreciate you being here. Thank you very much. This is everybody's first time in my stream because this is my first stream. So Figment is one of my favorite rides. I did not discard Figment, but I don't know too much about. Oh, it was debunked, Dan. See, again, some of my facts are from 12 years ago, so I don't remember them all. Thank you for clearing that up. So ignore the picture on the screen. That circle means nothing. Figment is one of my favorite rides, but I just didn't know any special secrets about it. So I appreciate you being here, though. Okay. And then Japan, this is the last one for Epcot. The Japanese pavilion, the 5 tiers signify an element from Buddhist beliefs that all things are created from earth, water, fire, wind, and sky. So that's the reason why, if you look, thank you, Lucky Minute, I appreciate that. If you look at these pagodas, they are 5 stories. All right, guys, I'm going to move straight into Hollywood Studios and speed this up a little bit. That way we have a little bit of time. Thanks, Chris. I appreciate that we have a little bit of time to talk afterwards. So I didn't have a picture of this one. This is the intersection of Hollywood Boulevard and Sunset Boulevard. If you look down, there's an oval plate marked established in 1928. This represents obviously the birth year of Mickey when he first appeared in Steamboat Willie. So that was 91 years ago. This here, if you look at some of these pictures, one on the left, you can kind of see where it's located at the bottom left of the pole. But they have these implemented along the curb, and it says Mortimer and Company Contractors, 1928. Of course, that is obviously the first name that Walt gave Mickey was Mortimer, until his wife Lillian convinced him that Mickey sounded a lot more friendly. So you can find those imprints along the curb. This one, and anybody knows, Dan, you probably know better than I do. I've been told this is no longer there, but in the Hollywood Tower of Terror, there used to be this board where some of the letters would fall off. If you look over to the right, you can, on the right picture, you can see it says, "Evil Tower, you are doomed." I've been told when I was researching that this is no longer there due to the attacks of 9/11. So I don't know if it's still there or not, but this used to be at the Tower of Terror. And then the inspection certificate of the Tower of Terror says permit to operate, state ID number 10259, has 3 different meanings to it. The inspected by Cadwallader, which I never watched the Twilight Tower of Terror, but the Mr. Cadwallader was in the original episode of he was in an episode of the Twilight Zone entitled Escape Clause. So good, Dan. I read that they took it down due to that. So but it's still a pretty cool, in my opinion, it's a pretty cool element to the ride when they first originally came up with it. But he was the devil in disguise. So your inspector is actually the devil in disguise from Twilight Tower of Terror. The certificate number 10259 is the date, October 2nd of 1959, of when the first Twilight Zone episode ever aired. And the date, October 19th, 1939, is when the day of the actual Tower Hotel opened. So that little bitty certificate there that nobody really pays attention to has 3 massive references to it, just hidden. All right, this is the guest book at Brown Derby. It's not really hidden, it's just there. I thought it was pretty cool. I've never seen it before, but it has the signatures of all the celebrity guests who have dined there. This one was Brian Howard, who directed Zootopia, and he's just kind of signed it there. But I don't know how they flip the pages. They just periodically flip them, but it is a pretty neat little book. Back to the Great Movie Ride. Some people can, sorry, Cargo. So back to the Great Movie Ride. Some people are going to cry again. This is the Gangster Scene, and a lot of people don't know this. I did not know this. That license plate number 021429 is actually February 14th, 1929, which is the date of the St. Valentine's Day massacres in Chicago. So, again, just something that Imagineering happened to throw in from that date, is just happens to be there, that a lot of people, unless they research or watch something like this, won't know. The Yellow Brick Road, there's your Yellow Brick Road. So the one thing I don't have a picture of, and I looked and looked, couldn't find it. The Yellow Brick Road in the Great Movie Ride, which we will never find out now, started with the letter O, which I do have that one. You can see the letter O, and actually at the end of it finished with the letter Z. So I just thought it was kind of cool that it spelled, that they put the 2 letters in there, but I couldn't find a picture of the Z. I went through all mine. Now, unfortunately, I'll never have one. And then this is the Muppet Ride, the Muppet 3D ride, Muppet Vision 3D, sorry. And the main queue lobby, which again, a lot of people don't ever know, is filled with jokes. And the one on the right, you can see the box of fruit there. It's just little, it's like flat fruit. And it says 2D Fruities. And that is a reference to Tutti Frutti. And the one on the left is, yes, a net full of Jello. Exactly, D. And I'm guessing D knows what this is. I didn't know this. I didn't even know it was sitting there. It is a tribute to one of the most famous Mouseketeers ever, and it is a net funicello, and it's a net full of Jello. So I did not know this. I'm glad some of you did, because I didn't even know. I looked at it and couldn't even get a net of Jello, but I'm glad some of you knew that. There's also all kinds of stuff, and there's a poster of Jim Henson as a Muppet and other things too. So Star Tours, I'm sorry. In Star Tours, there is a voice that comes over asking for the owner of a vehicle with a license plate THX1138 to be removed from the no hover zone. And I was not aware of this. I've heard that said before, but TH1138 is actually the name of the first movie George Lucas ever did. And I'm not sure if it was good or not. I've never even heard of it, never seen it. But so that THX1138 is actually what they call out the license plate in Star Tours for. A lot of people know about this one. This is by Indiana Jones, the Stunt Spectacular. There's obviously a sign that says "Do not pull the rope." Warning: Do not pull rope. You're going to pull it, and if you do, you can actually hear the miners down in below. This is Sci-Fi Dine. Something I found interesting here is out of all 1138 is also the cell number they use in the movie. Oh, nice. This is Sci-Fi Dine. All the license plates in this, and I've not tested this theory yet, all license plates in this room are one of 3 different states, and that is California, New Mexico, and Arizona. And that is because they are the 3 states with the most UFO sightings. And this is Pizza Rizzo, which is a lot of people are upset that they replaced Pizza Planet. And if you look at the sign there, the right-hand side, they intentionally put the dark green on the back of the red so it stands out as Pizza Planet. But it's a nod to it. It says the best pizza on the planet. But they threw this in here to they put this sign on here to pay homage to the Pizza Planet. Yeah, Chris, it is. it is dark in there. It's hard to see. It's something I'm going to have to try to see in August when I go. And Dan, UFOs are real. I've never been abducted yet, but there's something in the sky and I don't know where it is. Yeah, apparently it's only in California, Nevada, or I'm sorry, California, New Mexico, and Arizona. But apparently they happen a lot. And I'm guessing Seattle. Everybody seems to think the needle is a spaceship. Okay, and then finally for Hollywood Studios, in Toy Story Land, they have added these blocks. A lot of people have seen these. If you look carefully, it has the A113. That is a signature that the people from Pixar, including John Lasseter when he was doing it, that is where the room number of the classroom that was used by the graphic design and character animation students. So they throw A113 into everything that they do. And here it is in Toy Story Land on the blocks. Okay, moving real quick on to Animal Kingdom. So this is the Xylo Bone. It's in the boneyard in the dig site. That it's next to that Jeep, that dino there. If you go up and hit those bones, the rib bones there, it actually plays different musical notes. This is also in the boneyard. It is Dinosaur Steps footprints, but they're not just any footprints. If you actually step on them, you can hear noises and growls coming from the caves behind you. Sorry, guys, I'm rushing. I just want to get through this so you can so we can talk a little bit. This is it's by the boneyard as well. This is an actual hand-drawn sketch of what Dino Land looked like when it was first opened. It does not contain the Dinorama, I don't think, but yet. But this is the pre-movable world. But this is what it looked like when it was first opened. Something interesting I heard about this, and I'm not sure about this. Dan, you were a cast member. You might actually know better. This is the Cretaceous Trail leading into Dinosaur. You have several different dinosaurs placed throughout it. I've been told over the years they have removed some of these dinosaurs, and the intent over a long period of time was to remove them all, signifying the extinction of dinosaurs, and replace them with topiaries. Now, I'm not sure if you know anything about that, but that is what I researched and found. So I'm going to look in August to see if any of the ones I have pictures of have actually disappeared. Those are statues of your sisters. That's funny, Cargo. Okay, and then this is inside Dinosaur, and this is Dan. This is where you come in, buddy. This is all for you. So you have these pipes. When this is standing up on the landing, going down to yes, exactly. Anyone hardly goes to see those dinosaurs. This is going down to Dinosaur, and you see the red, white, and yellow pipes. And if you look at those closely, like in the picture on the right, they have, yes, D, that is the chemical composition of ketchup, mustard, and mayonnaise. And I don't see pickles, but I see the other three. And that is because McDonald's sponsored this ride when it came out, and that was their nod to the attraction. So it is the chemical composition of ketchup, mustard, and mayonnaise. There's your food for the day, Dan. Then they also, I've never seen this. I cannot believe I've never seen this, but they have 3 dinosaurs over by the Primeval Whirl that are hitchhiking. If you look at them and look at the bottom right corner, they are symbolizing the 3 hitchhiking ghosts. And the first one is holding a bag. The second one is tipping his hat. The third one's not really holding a ball and chain, but he's kind of got in the same position. So I don't know, Dan. I don't know if that's the only food or not. We can talk about food as soon as I get through, though. So, but there it is. That is the Hitchhiking Dinosaurs. And then around Chester and Hester's Dinorama, there's a road, which I've always noticed, but I never knew what it was like that for. There's actually a sign that says Diggs County, US 498. The 498 is a tribute to when Animal Kingdom first opened, which was April of 1998. And then there are the prayer flags. This is just something I put in here to show how much the Imagineering pays to details. These are called prayer flags, and the picture's taken from the wrong side, so it's actually reversed this. But they are always found in a specific order, and it's yellow, green, red, white, and blue. And they either go from left to right, again, the picture's backwards, or they go from top to bottom, or I'm sorry, from bottom to top. And it represents the order of earth, water, fire, cloud, and sky, which is what they believe in. Ironically, this is in Nandapur. They actually don't follow that tradition, I read. But Asia in Disney World is supposed to be in Nandapur, and they actually have these hanging there. So, and then we got one more, guys. And this is in Flight of Passage, the best ride they have at Disney World. Yeah, I said it. The best ride they have at Disney World. At the end of the ride, as you walk down, you find these 3 handprints. I'm sure Dan knows. Anybody know what these stand for? The initials are JC, JR, and JL. Yes, Melissa, the best ride at Disney World. Yes, one of them stands for Joe Road. The other 2, one of them I didn't know a whole lot. It's not Joe Carpenter. Or John Carpenter, I'm sorry. John is one of them, though. But the initials are actually for James Cameron, who directed Avatar, John Landau, who produced Avatar, and Joe Road, who is a Imagineering legend, a Disney Imagineer legend. So they actually have their handprints on the wall at the exit. So, all right, guys, that is really all I have for sharing. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. I enjoyed putting it all together. I know that. Again, extremely nervous to do it. So I really, again, appreciate you all for being here. I cannot believe we still have 15 people here now watching, 21 likes. It's great. So we do still have a few more minutes left. If I missed anything in the chat, guys, I apologize. I'm trying to, yes, touch the hands and never wash yours again. Exactly. Yes, Cargo, what do you have as a question? Thanks, Dan. I greatly appreciate it. Thanks, Melissa. Appreciate it, guys, all of you. I really, really do appreciate it. Oh, well, we'll beat it next week. We're going to have some fun with those Disney villains. And I'm more relaxed when I have a guest. I didn't know how to work in a guest with this content, but this is something I definitely wanted to talk about. I've not seen a lot of people do or talk about it, so I wanted to make sure that I did this one. Thanks, Chris. I appreciate it. Thanks, Stacy. And thanks, Lucky Minute. What are those big Tsum Tsums that aren't plush? Oh, so these are Winnie the Pooh. And then over here I have Mickey and Minnie. They are actually Tsum Tsum carrying cases. And they're hard plastic, and you open them up, and I'm not gonna get them down right now, but you open them up and you can store the little Tsum Tsums, the rubber vinyl Tsum Tsums in them. So, oh, thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. Yes, Chris, that is my prized possession right there. This thing here is my Ravensburger puzzle. It does 40,320 pieces. That is not a misprint. That is 40,320 pieces. It has 10 Disney scenes. The finished length, I believe, is 6.5 feet tall by 22.5 feet long. It's massive. And I'm done with I think I'm on the 4th section of that. So yeah, that is 3,000. Yeah, it's got it beat by just a few pieces. That thing is not cheap. My family gave me as a Christmas and birthday presents money to put towards that. They paid 2/3 of it for me, and I paid the other third. Cargo, I love putting puzzles together, but I multitask when I do it. I watch TV or something. Walt, question: who is your favorite baseball player of all time? Oh wow, that's hard. It'd be so easy to say somebody now. I'm a huge sports fan, Dodger fan mainly. But when I was a kid, even when I'm not a kid, 2 years ago, even when we were playing softball, we put names on our jerseys for players that we liked, and I'm a pitcher for the Dodgers. I mean, not for the Dodgers. Scratch that. I'm a pitcher for my softball team. I broke my ankle 2 years ago, 2 years ago, and I broke my ankle. Didn't go to the doctor and put on 80 pounds, and didn't get to play the following year. But we had teams, and when we put our names on the back, I always put Oral Hershiser, just because it was the position I was playing. I think him or Don Drysdale might be or Koufax. Might be two of the best known players. But Oral Hershiser has always been one of my favorites. Clayton Kershaw is probably my favorite now. So yeah, Melissa, I broke my ankle playing basketball. Actually, I play 3 sports. I play volleyball, basketball, and softball. I still play them. But I got shoved in a pickup basketball game of all things, and I basically ripped the tendons and broke the bone in my ankle, and did not go to the doctor for 3 months. So the result of that was it hurt worse because I had to have it healed the right way. They had to re-break it and put it back together, and I gained 80 pounds. So that's what I'm trying to lose. We're doing the Biggest Loser competition at work, and I'm actually trying to lose that 80 pounds before August. So we'll see how it works. I would definitely do baseball streams. I would rather watch baseball than basketball, and a lot of people don't understand that. I hate the NBA basketball. I think they whine. I think they get away with everything in the world. They're a bunch of overpaid players. I don't think they deserve I'm not saying they're not good. Don't get me wrong. But I would much rather watch college basketball than NBA. Dan, now this is going to sound weird. I enjoy watching almost any sport. I love rugby. I love the fact that's like looks like our football. And yes, it is a proper sport, and it is brutal. It can be brutal. I love watching rugby. I love watching curling. I know that sounds weird in the Olympics. I'm fascinated by that. I don't, just because of the science behind it. You don't have to be the greatest person in shape to be an athlete, but there are different levels of it. But yeah, I watch all sports, every one of them. I just can't stand the way the NBA gets away with things. So, All right, guys. Well, we are coming up on an hour now. Again, I cannot be more appreciative to you guys for everything that you do, for everything that you do in our community, for supporting me. I've been on YouTube now for 8 months, something like that. And we sat around one day, decided we were watching, my nieces and I were watching people open up toys. And my niece said, let's make a video. She wanted to pretend to make a video. So we actually pretended to make a video. And then I found the Disney community, because when we go to Disney World, we always look things up. And Dan, that's a brutal sport, man. I can't believe you played that. But we were sitting around thinking about it. I thought, I might be able to do that. And so we started doing it for fun. I didn't even know how to post a video. If you go back and look at my first video, it's pretty bad. We have progressed a lot. Oh, thank you so much, Cargo. I appreciate it. Guys, I appreciate everything. You guys are really family members to me. I've said this before. You have your given family and you have your chosen family. My chosen family is all of you. I rush home from work to jump on the computer to see what we can talk about every night. And I've been pressured into starting live streaming. I'm nervous still, even though we're almost done. But I wouldn't go that far, WD Gaming. So 3 years, and thanks for the sub. Your channel is better than mine, and I'm fine with that. Guys, we're all here. We all do different things. We all have different opinions. My goal is to promote positivity and there's so much negativity in the world. We don't need it anymore. It's here to have fun, here to hang out. You guys are Dan says it all the time, you guys are friends. You guys are my family. I actually told my real family that they are not allowed to go with me in August. I'm going for the sole fact to meet all of you that are coming down there. And some of that is for security reasons, because at the time I wasn't sure, I don't know who everybody's is and what we're going to do, but I just wanted to be able to experience you guys, my chosen family, without any distractions. So I'll be there for 12 days, and I'm looking forward to having some fun. So, all right. If nobody has any other questions, guys, I think we're going to call it a night. It's been, we're just over an hour. So I appreciate you all so much for being here, for all the support and love you give us. We could not do it without you. Everybody, please go out and support each other, and definitely support Meg. I've got her channel link down below us. She is the one that normally streams Wednesdays in Wonderland, I believe is what she calls it. And again, I'll be on this channel next week with Walt from Mouse Talk. We will be discussing Disney villains next week, and then after that, Meg will come back. But if everything goes well, I may move to Mondays. So, guys, I greatly appreciate it. It's been a great night. Thank you guys for making it a lot easier for me. I appreciate everything you do. Please, on your way out, hit that like button if you haven't done so. And again, guys, love you all. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining. Have a great night.